As you know, in Florida, universities who prepare teachers now are involved in the process we call Infusion. Can you tell us a little bit about your concerns about Infusion?
Absolutely. On the one hand, I don't want to throw brickbats 100% against this notion. It obviously is a wonderful thing that all teachers are having to undergo training in working with these kids. There's no question, and if it stopped at that level, Florida would be on the forefront of the country. And clearly, you know, LEP kids are in schools where you can't have full programs. There are kids who are in various degree of language proficiency and the like, and find their ways into Mrs. Jones's 6th grade classroom with 25 English speakers and and one Hmong speaker who founders there. So the extent that that teacher has undergone some training is a very good thing. The problem that we have is that the Infusion program is viewed as a way of giving somebody a full credential for teaching, which is probably the most important subject that these kids can have, and that is teaching them English so that they can, in fact, function in all English curriculum. Under the under the systems that had previously been developed, the notion was that you would take the 300 hours or the courses. They would be standalone. There would be people who were trained in, say, assessment of limited English proficient kids or linguistics of these kids in certain areas. And they would spend a reasonable amount of time on each of those. And our sense is that given the importance of this subject to Florida society and society in general, that's, you want to do that. You want people who really know their stuff. The Infusion program, to the extent that it raises fears in that a lot of the subject matter is going to be taught by people who, in fact, don't know very much about limited English proficient kids. Most of the programs do not require any sort of meaningful training of the trainers, if you will. Certainly not of the level that at least we envisioned existed before, and I realize that sometimes the 300 clock hours were taught by people who may not have been quite as well trained as they should have been. But the concern is that LEP issues will be put in the hands of professors who don't know very much about them, who've got their own courses, and this is sort of an add-on to what they're doing, so that inadequate time will be spent on this. And so what we'll end up with are a number of people who will be nominally certified or endorsed as ESOL teachers who really have very little training. And that, if that happens, then we've got a big bone to pick, and it's not inconceivable that we could find ourselves back in court. But the hope is that the universities will act responsibly in terms of having a core number of standalone courses, and will provide oversight to assure that the worst fears that I've just expressed do not occur. And we have proposed and are sort of in negotiations with the state, which is difficult to negotiate with these days, over some sort of an outcome measures. And our sense is that outcome measures to assure ourselves that people who are coming out of these programs do have basic knowledge are fairly important.